Good morning. Today is Friday, March 27th, 2026. My name is Nick Mark George, and you're watching RateGame Live. This is a very special sports show because it's powered by you, the sports fans, on RateGame. You rate the games that you watch. I wake up in the morning. I see what's going on. I do some little calculations, some tabulations. Basically, I use Claude, and Claude tells me, were the sports good? Yes or no, based on your ratings. And that's how we kick things off. We say, okay, how many games? How many leagues? How many ratings? What was the overall average rating? And can we answer this question with a yes or no? Today, happy to report on this Friday, the answer is yes. 7.1. 4 leagues, 31 games, over 2,173 ratings. So yesterday was a gauntlet. We had 10 World Cup qualifiers. We had a full day of baseball. We had the Sweet 16. We had the NBA. We had the NHL. It was incredible, incredible day of sports. And the Sweet 16. For those who might have missed it the first time around. So, yeah, what a day at 7.1, anchored by some incredible finishes in the Sweet 16 in the early window, which we'll get to. Late window, not so much. But yeah, if anybody asks you, hey, how are the sports yesterday? Because this is a question that people ask, right? If they know you as a sports fan, they might come up to you and they say, hey, how was the sports? You can say the sports were good. So, next thing, after we answer this question, then we check in on our goal. Our goal is the road to 1 million. 1 million ratings is what we're going for. Every single day, we're chipping away. So the last Friday in March, we are sitting at 199,000 ratings and change. We are less than 4 figures away from 200K, which is the first little milestone, first little stop on our journey. So I feel like, folks, by the time tonight rolls around, we will have something to celebrate tomorrow, which is a nice little 2 on the rating scale on our way to 1 million. So thank you for rating. Oh, this, folks, is a little signal that my producer we have a little system going. So when she picks this up, that means that I've been coughing on the mic. So I apologize if you see or hear this little jingle. Got to work on that. Got to work on my mic etiquette. All right. So we do the sports are good. We do the road to 1 million. And then we get down to business. We take a look. What the heck happened last night? And we are going to kick things off with the Sweet 16. So it was really the tale of 2 windows for basketball last night as it pertained to the Sweet 16. We had some absolute bangers with Purdue and Texas, and then Nebraska, Iowa. And then we had some not quite certified stinkers because there was a little bit of juice, respectively, in each game towards the end. Actually, you know what? I take that back. Arizona just blew the brakes off Arkansas. I don't want to sugarcoat this, folks. That game was not fun at all. I gave both actually the red circles here, but I think Houston, Illinois was a little at the end, like it was almost, they just dragged it out. Houston did. It was like too little, too late. But Arizona and Arkansas, like from the jump, that game was toast. And I feel terrible for Acuff because that's how, he'll go out with Arkansas. That's his last game as a freshman. You one and done. You get 1 year to go as far as you can. And for that to be your last ever college basketball game, I understand he's going to have an entire career in the NBA. The guy's going to get drafted. He's going to make millions of dollars. I'm with you. Still stinks to go out like that without a shadow of a doubt that you're not advancing. That game was over by halftime. So back to the greens. I just did it again. She's right. I do have a bad habit of it. I do have a bad habit of it. So something I need to work on for sure. Thank you for calling that out because it does sound bad on replay. The best game last night across all the games was the first game of the Sweet 16. Purdue and Texas was a battle royale. Tremon Mark was this close to becoming a March legend. The man was playing on one leg, and I'm not saying that to be hyperbolic. If you were watching that game, he could barely get up and down the court. He was literally limping every possession, and then he would get the ball. At one point, I think he was something like 11 for 13, so he'd only missed 2 shots, 5 for 7 from 3. Good morning, Kuzi. I saw that one. Good morning, Kuzi. Yeah, so he was putting on, and I thought Texas at one point, because Volkatitis was also balling out, they were clashing in the paint. Him and what's his name? Not Kaufman Wren, but the other big man that they have. They have some massive, massive humans on Purdue. The Volkatitis was clashing with, let me see if I can actually do some research here, because I can vote for player of the game. No, it's this. Oh, Oscar Clough. Oscar Clough is a massive human being, and him and Volkatitis, 2 biggest guys on the floor. They're just doing battle in the paint. Final shot, final possession. Braden Smith comes down, goes for the game winner off the rim, and Kaufman Rem with a little tip. There was like 0.5 seconds left. They had to go to the monitor to review it, which always takes a little bit of air out of the building. And Texas's full court heave was no good. It was actually, he almost shot it over the basket entirely, but it was an incredible sequence down the stretch. I thought that Texas would not have been the lamest double-digit Elite 8 team in CBB history, despite what the top take says here. I will give T. Clem a like for that, though, because it made me chuckle. I think they were a lot of fun. I thought like Volkatitis was definitely a storyline. Tremon Mark, guy was a baller. Purdue as the 2 seed with Matt Painter, with Braden Smith. Obviously, that is a much more recognizable brand, I would say, for college basketball specifically. Purdue gets to this point in the tournament much, much more frequently than Texas does, but great game, buzzer beater, nearly 8.9. Oh, we have a Texas fan who rated it. That's awesome. That's great. Colin, holy F. I hate how I thought we was gonna move on. Miserable feeling, but wow, what a run. After a mid-season, good game, Purdue. Wow. Very nice. Very noble. My producer has one of the top takes as well. Purdue wins by the seat of their freaking pants. And we had to look this up. We had to look up this euphemism because somebody thought it was the seed of your pants. Said, no, it's the seed. It's definitely the seed. The seed, planting a seed in your pants and then winning by that seed. Oh, very important. Very important. So this sports fan, this Purdue legend, number two on the Purdue leaderboard, he has, or she, let's see if we can determine. They shall rename genderless. Gabe is Gieber. Gives it a 10 of 10 on the Gieber scale. So he's basically renamed the rating scale from 0 to 10, and he's put his own name on it. He calls it the Gieber scale. Very interesting. This is a 10 out of 10. So I asked him if this was the first 10 out of 10, and it's not. Okay. So for those who are wondering, not the first 10 out of 10 last night for the Gieber scale, but it was an 8.9 and 181 fans rated. So we are, I think the trend line here is like the games in the early windows have just been much better, except for Vandy and Nebraska, because these other two, just certified stinkers. You have Houston, I think we might. Excuse me. If I got a cough, yeah. I'm still working through this, folks. I don't know how I'm going to overcome this little, what would we call it? This little quirk of mine where I have to clear my throat incessantly. That bothers my breather. All right. So the Fighting Illini are moving on. They have the tallest team in college, and they also have a lot of Viches. Stojakovic, Mirkovic, player of the game, David Mirkovic, who gave an incredible post-game interview last night. It's a scary combo, and I think Kelvin Sampson, who is 70 years old, this might have been his last game, because it seems like every year he goes deep in the tournament, but every year he comes up short. 32 years at Houston, no doubt incredible what he's done for that program. The guy is an icon and a legend for the Houston Cougars, but at 70 years old, you got to think that he's thinking about it. So we'll keep an eye on that. That would be a very hot job. Very hot job. Maybe Ben McCollum gets that job. After what he did with Iowa and Nebraska. So Iowa and Nebraska, let's just touch on this real quick. This man, the legend Alvaro Fulgaris, has now 2 incredible plays for Iowa. Last night, the and one dunk to seal the deal. And we know what he did to Florida with the corner 3 to put him away. So the legend grows 10 feet taller. Sparty World says the Great Corn War of 2026. Iowa, not known for their corn, right? But I think it's funny. And the Iowa, oh man, see what you're saying. My throat's just dry. That's because I did do 10 push-ups before to get the blood flowing. I wanted to come on with like energy. So Fulgaris, globally renowned for corn. Iowa's globally renowned. What about Nebraska? Nebraska's actual mascot is the Cornhuskers. Yes, Nebraska's famous for corn, especially known as the Cornhuskers. Wow. So Sparty World just nailed it. The Great Corn War of 2026. Phenomenal. That's fantastic. What a take. That might make your list. It did. You want to tell the people what your list is about? She is the funniest takes on RateGame. She's been compiling this list for months? Year. So you make the list. It's an honor. All right. So that was Sweet 16 night 1. Shout out to Purdue, Iowa, Houston, Illinois, and Arizona. They're moving on. We got a Big Ten battle for all the marbles there. And we got night 2 tonight. So let us go back to where it all began and take a look at all leagues. And now let us go to the top rated, because we have hockey. All right. So we got the Penguins and the Sens at the Canadian Tire Center. I love that. The Canadian Tire Center in Ottawa. And I believe, because I've been seeing Kuzi, if he's still with us, that the Sens are having a good year. I'm not quite sure about the Penguins, but let's go in here and let's see what's going on. Double 2087 says, I thank the Lord every morning for Ben Kindle. Also for not giving me a stroke when I watched this team. Okay, so they won in a shootout. Got it, 8-1. Let's see the breakdown here. Oh, wow, look at this. Participation across the board. Wow, tie 8.4. So Ottawa and the Pens fans thought this was a good one, and the neutrals a little less, but equally so. All right, so Kuzi, what did Kuzi say? He said, it felt like a playoff game, and I'm honestly okay with just 1 point. Sucks with all the injuries, but there was no malice. Take a day off and reset for Florida. All right, Florida Panthers, the back-to-back Stanley Cup champions. I don't think they're going to be repeating this year because I think they're awful record-wise. Breton. Wow, Breton. The Iron Fan, one of 2 Raiders with the Iron Fan badge. Might have been the most exciting end of game I've ever watched in my life. I'm going to butcher this name. Stutzel was going through everybody like they were a cone and even destroyed Letang at the end. You can tell Ottawa's missing Chabot and Sanderson. Man, these are incredible French-Canadian names. They were using young defensemen in overtime to replace them. Overtime was full of action, breakaways back and forth, and holy, did Skinner and Ullmark play unbelievable games. I think those are goaltenders. You could tell Stutzel was tired in the shootouts. Ullmark's weakness is clearly his 5-hole. That's between the legs. Ben Kindle with the hero goal to get the Penguins back in spot 2 in the Metro Division. All right, so coming up on the playoffs in hockey, going to be an exciting time right after March Madness. And we're going to close the top games and top takes with the World Cup qualifier. So I actually saw this game with about 3 minutes left in extra time, and then I saw the entirety of the penalty kicks. And I forgot how intense penalty kicks are when it's an elimination. First of all, the end of regulation here, when there was extra time, there was like 3 minutes added, and this is like do or death. This is the final. We're looking for the final 6 countries to qualify for the World Cup, and there's like a mini playoff between yesterday and now the final, which is on Tuesday. Wales in the shootout was like the first shot the Wales keeper saved. So they had an immediate advantage out of the gate. And then this guy on Wales, I think he was the 4th or 5th kicker, skied it. Bosnia saved. And then Bosnia won. And it was just like, and it happened like that. And it was Heartbreak City. And Bosnia now moves on to play Italy. So they have one more to go on Tuesday for all the marbles. Italy, by the way, was having a tough time with Northern Ireland. They ended up winning 2-0, but I was watching that one for a while. Shout out to North Macedonia. Shout out to Andre and Kiko. Their homeland put up a valiant effort. What's that? Oh, yeah. I think I had to repeat it. Shout out to Kiko and Andre on the RateGame team. The mighty Macedonians who make it all possible. The designers and the engineer, the 2-man wrecking crew. All right, that was all. So, yes, let's see. So I got the World Cup. We got a hockey game. We got basketball galore. What did I not do? Oh, baseball. So, yeah, I'm going to be selfish here because I'm a Mets fan. I'm going to go and talk about my beloved New York Metropolitans. So yesterday, opening day at Citi Field, and we had Paul Skeens on the mound coming off the World Baseball Classic appearance where he pitched well enough to get us to the final, and then properly got lit up. So the bats were popping yesterday for the New York Metropolitans. Brett Beatty laced a triple, I believe. I was kind of scoreboard watching this. And I know. I'm starting to catch myself now. So the tail of the tape here is that O'Neal Cruz had some unbelievable, just inexcusable drops in center field with these pop-ups back to back. He just totally misjudged it. And this is the top take in all of RateGame in the last 24 hours, goes to none other than No More Fielders. What a game for O'Neal Cruz. So if you didn't watch this, you might look at it and say, oh, wow, he had a great game. Not so fast, my friends, because Brett Beatty is your player of the game. Mets win 11-7. That gets a 6-9. Nice. So we got 9 Mets fans, 3 Pirates fans, 63 neutrals. That's just incredible numbers for opening day. I think last year it was Yankees Brewers, and it had like 42 ratings, and I was over the moon about that. So another sign of growth for you there. And we are off and running with the Major League Baseball 2026 season. All right. That is going to be our coverage for the top rated games and the top takes. I did the World Cup qualifiers. How am I doing on time, producer? Pick 'em leaderboard. Let's do it. Which means I need to navigate to it. All right, there we go. So tonight and last night, actually. Oh, that's right. So Jimmer, who has been our leader for this entire time, he missed on a pick last night. So the gap, which was 2 coming into the Sweet 16, is now shrunk to 1. So we have some movement at the top. So we have Jimmer, who's still ahead by 1. We got Fed at 46. And right behind him, right on his tail, we got Packers and Flames. So as we advance, as the games are becoming scarce, the movement here and the picks just become that much more important. You cannot make a mistake this late in the game. And the more upsets that we see, the more chaos will arise at the top of this leaderboard. If the favorites win, I have a feeling that Jimmer might hold on. But if there's some upsets, which as we know from March Madness, this is generally when the competition gets really good. So it could go either way. Then we'll see some further movement here. Got night 2 of that with St. John's Duke kicking us off. Then we go to Michigan and oh yeah. What am I doing? Why am I trying to memorize the games? Okay, so we got St. John's Duke. I'm going with the Johnnies. Gotta love Slick Rick, New Yorker, former New Yorker. Then we got Michigan, Alabama. Nate Oates is going to be wearing a really crisp red Hemingway suit. I guarantee it. And then we have Hurley versus Izzo. You know what they say. November, December, January, February, Izzo, April, May, June. That's what they say. The man is March. So we got another 4-pack coming at you tonight. We got St. John's Duke, Alabama, Michigan, MSU, UConn. These are just incredible games. And then Tennessee, Iowa State. Wow. It's going to be action-packed Friday night. Strap in. Make your plans. As John Rothstein says, take your nitroglycerin pills and get ready for some hoops. Get ready for some sports. Get ready for a great day. It's Friday. My name is Dick Mark George. It's a great day to rate some games. There's 76 days left until the World Cup. We'll see you tomorrow. Same place. Not the same time, probably like an hour or two later. Weekends, we do like 10. We sleep a little bit. So have a great day. We'll see you back here.